All right, we are in chapter 5. We are in packet B as in boy, and this is part 2. So we are still doing integration of the natural log, or getting to the natural log, and we're going to do some trig in a little bit as well. So we've already covered u substitution, so that's something to consider as we go through this process. So as you can see, we've got our composite function here in the denominator, so we're going to use a u substitution. So my du is equal to dx. So if I go ahead and replace some of the parts that I know, I notice I still have this x information in the numerator, so I'm going to solve for x. And I'm going to replace this u plus 1 in for the x position. All right, so then that's going to give me, in the numerator, you can see this is going to be a u minus 1 and a u plus 1. So that is a difference of squares there. So I've got u squared minus 1 over u cubed. And from here, I would just split it. So if you have a monomial in the denominator, it is probably the easiest technique is to just make that two different integrals, or at least maybe not two different integrals. Let's change that. What if we just did two different terms? Since there's no u substitution within this problem anymore, there's no true benefit. Okay, so I can simplify here these powers. So I've got, well, this is going to be gone in the numerator. So I have 1 over u to the first. Excuse me. So my antiderivative would be natural log of u minus, and then this would be considered a power rule, right? I've got u to the negative 3. So if I go up 1, I'm at u to the negative 2. And if I divide by negative 2, so that's going to change this to a positive and this to a 2 plus c. Now I'm going to back substitute my u, and I'm going to go back and put it in terms of x again. All right, so we've solved number 7. Number 8 ends up being, I don't know about a little tricky, but it's one of those ones somebody points it out, you notice it. So we have the degree in the numerator and denominator are the same. So any sort of long division or splitting up things is a challenge. But I do have a binomial here, and I'm noticing that I have the same terms in the numerator. So I'm going to split it as well, and maybe it's not a split that you would consider, but I'm going to take some of my terms here. I'm going to take my third term that doesn't exactly match up. I'm going to put him by himself. So now in this rewrite here, I really have 1 plus, and now I've got a situation where my denominator is larger. So my denominator is larger degree than my numerator, and that's not a conventional sort of u substitution as we described in terms of getting rid of the composite function. But if you think of it from the perspective of our natural log, we want to just have 1 over x, right, down here. So if I get rid of that and I have just a u, then I'm going to get to that end goal. So if I let u equal x squared plus 1, then du is 2x dx. And see, the degree is 1 less when you take that power rule, and that degree of being 1 less is located in the numerator. That's why the taking notice of the degree is sort of useful. So I'm going to have to force a 2, and now, right, I only have 1 integral here, so I need to write it as 2 different integrals, because when I counter with my half, I just want it to deal with this 1 term. I don't want it to affect that 1 from our binomial and our integrand. All right, so then that tells me I've got my integral of 1 dx plus the integral of 1/2 the integral of 1 over u du. So in this situation, yes, we do have 2 different letters, but they're 2 different integrals. So that everything is still okay. So if I integrate 1 in terms of dx, I'm going to get an x. If I integrate 1 over u in terms of u, I'm going to have the natural log of u. I'm going to have my plus c. I'm just leaving my space here so I can back substitute my x information to make sure everything matches up. All right, so now moving on to number 9, I think I would go ahead and start with my u substitution because I see the composite. And when du equals dx, you're going to start noticing some shortcuts. So if you feel the need to apply a shortcut, you are more than welcome to. All right, so then I'm going to pull that 2 out in front. All right, so this really is going to equal, I've got a 2 on the outside. I've got u squared in the denominator. I've got a du, but I am left with this x on the top. So I'm going to take this expression and solve it for x. So that's really going to be a u minus 1. So now everything is in terms of u. And here again, this is where I would split. All right, so I'd split my denominator to be a 2-term problem. So I'd have u over u squared minus 1 over u squared. And same, right, we can simplify here. So then this would be just a 1. This power would be a 1. So I know that I've got 2. I do a bracket here. I've got the natural log of u minus, again, I'm treating that like a power rule. So that's u to the negative 2. If I go up 1, I'm at a negative 1. If I divide by negative 1, that changes this to a positive. I'm going to add my plus c. I guess I should have just wrote my u in here since I wrote u down already. Okay, so now then let's back substitute. So I've got 2 natural log of my u, which is an x plus 1, plus 2. And I just distributed the 2 that was outside the bracket. I didn't want to write the bracket. I didn't want to lose it. Over my x plus 1 plus my c. All right, as you can tell, we're going to go back and we're going to do some trig stuff here. And some of them are pretty basic. They are what you think they are. As we mentioned earlier, we did some of these before, right? I know the derivative of sine is cosine, so then that antiderivative is going to go backwards. Same thing with cosine and negative sine. This is where, like tangent, though, nobody's derivative is tangent, so it's going to look a little crazy. Nobody's derivative is secant, so it's going to look a little crazy. But again, we had to cover this integral of natural log prior to this skill, and this is why. All right, so if we derive here the integral of tangent, so if you see where it comes from, so if you're not a memorized person and you don't want to memorize that, then you can always just do it piece by piece here. So tangent is really the sine of x over cosine of x. So if I do a u substitution, because I want to get rid of that denominator, so I let u equal cosine. The derivative of cosine is a negative sine dx. Okay, so that means I need to force a negative and counter with a negative. So now I've got the negative integral of 1 over u du, so which means I've got the natural log of u plus c, and my u is cosine. All right, so then if you notice here, it says secant here, right? Because if I take this negative 1 that's here, right, I can put it up top as a power. So then this is really cosine. We'll put them in a parentheses here, right? Raised to the negative 1 power plus c. And we know cosine to the negative 1 power, right? That would be considered 1 over cosine. And 1 over cosine is considered to be the secant. All right. Some people prefer to memorize this negative natural log of absolute value of cosine. It's either way is fine. All right, so now then if we have the tangent here of 5 theta, kind of use that information above there. We just did it, now there's just a 5 in there. So I would have to do a u sub for the 5 theta. So then du is 5 d theta. I'm forcing a 5, I'm countering with a 1/5. So now my problem is really 1/5 tangent of u du. Well, I know the antiderivative of tangent already. And again, if you want to use the secant, I think I usually use the negative. Okay, so then I know this is going to be a negative natural log of the absolute value of the cosine of u, because we're still in terms of u, and then I've got to back substitute that and put in my 5x. All right, there's no expectation you go from scratch anymore. We showed you how to do it, so you can go ahead and just use that technique. All right, example 11. I would probably do this as a separate u sub. So if u equals x over 2, then du is going to be 1/2 dx. So I got to force a half counter with a 2. So then I really have 2 times the integral of secant of u du. So this is twofold, right? If you got the sheet in front of you, of course, we're going to come back over here. Then we can just take this natural log of secant plus tangent. If you're not sure on, or you want to, oops, sorry about that one. All right, so if I say this is going to be 2 times the natural log of the secant of u, and I'm going to back substitute, plus the tangent of u plus c. That's if you're a memorized person. If you are not a memorized person, then you're going to have 2 times, then you're going to go 1 over cosine, and you're going to try to do it that way. But I think you're going to realize that with 1 over cosine, there's no rule, right? Okay, I'm sure we can go through and go through a theorem and things like that. But for the frequency that you're going to see this, I'm going to say, just look that guy up real quick. It will be worth your time. All right, we're moving on here. We're going to 12. Some of these just look complicated. Overall, if you can use sub the bottom, I would use sub the bottom. That'd be a pretty general rule there if you're unsure. And if anything, you can just double check it. All right, so then the derivative of cosine is negative sine. So we need to force a negative, counter a negative. So then I really have negative 1 over u du, which is negative natural log of u, which I know is 1 plus cosine x plus c. So a lot of back substitution. Again, if you're feeling pretty good about this u substitution, then you just have a couple more things to consider. We've got x plus 1 over x minus 1. All right, so this is one of those where it's a tie. And the other one was a little bit more explicit because you saw the plus 1 in the problem. All right, so what if we add in a plus 1? I can't just change the problem, so I've got to also add in a minus 1. All right, so what I really just did there is I've got x plus 1 minus 1, because that's what I added to the problem. I put it in the middle because I wanted to be closer to the x. And then I have, I don't want a parentheses there. Let's erase that one. This original minus 1 that was there. All right, so double check me here to make sure I didn't do anything weird. So this is representative x plus 1, x minus 1 is the same as this x that's already there. We have the subtracted 1 and our denominator did not change. So I did not change the value of the problem. I just changed the structure to help me break things apart a little easier. So now I can split my denominator like we did before. So I've got x plus 1 over x plus 1. And then I've got minus 2 over x plus 1. So now I've got really 1 minus 2x plus 1 dx, all right? I'm going to try to do this a little quicker without doing so many u subs to see if you're following here. So if I take the antiderivative of 1, that is an x. If I did a u sub, this would be my u sub, but there's no du. It's just going to be a dx. There's nothing crazy there. So the 2 would come along for the right. So I would really have a 2 natural log of u, and then I would back substitute that u, and I would be putting in the x plus 1. So that's one of the things I mentioned. If you can see that u substitution early and not write it and do some shortcuts, you are more than welcome to do so. I wrote the plus c out of habit now since this is number 13, but this is a definite integral. So I'm going to change back here to red. So I'm going to go from 1 to 0. So then my first, if I'm putting in a 1, I've got 1 minus 2 natural log of the absolute value of 2 minus, if I put the 0 in, I've got 0 minus 2 natural log of the absolute value of 1. All right, and now some natural log simplification. Natural log of 1 is a 0. Okay, so then this back bracket is really just a 0. So then I have 1 minus 2 natural log of 2. All right. All right, 14 is our last one. So again, 14, if you're not sure where to go, I would start with the denominator. And then once you view the denominator, you know that the derivative of x is 1 and the derivative of sine is some form of a cosine. So you feel pretty good about your choice. The idea of subbing out the top is really rare because that means the denominator is your derivative, but it has to be in the form of a fraction. So it has to be like a legit denominator, not just a position holder. So the derivative of sine is cosine, so that negative symbol, the subtraction symbol, is going to stand. So then this is my du, nice and smooth there. So that means I'm going to have 1 over u du. And with all the trig stuff, I don't think I want to put in the 1 and the 2. That looks a little obnoxious. So I'm just going to leave it. And I know that this is going to be the natural log of u as my antiderivative. Now I'm going to back substitute and put back in my x minus sine of x. All right, absolute value. Now I'm going to evaluate between 2 and 1. So again, I'll go square bracket. So then I've got the natural log of the absolute value of 2 minus sine of 2 minus the natural log of the absolute value of 2 minus sine of 1. All right, kind of ran out of some space there. So let's go natural log 2 minus sine 2 minus natural log 1 minus sine 1. I think I put a 2 in there. A lot of vertical lines there. All right, so that is our example 14. Hopefully it's going good for you. We'll see you on the next one.